Hi, welcome to another installment of OpenDBA Tutor. Today I'm going to show you guys how to perform a restore and recovery, and not only to restore and recover a data file, but to restore and recover it to a different location. So you might find yourself basically wanting to not have data file, where it was, originally is, but you won't have any different directory. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So first thing that I do is I need to get set up here. I have that. There you go. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into my actual directory. You see where I have all my data file, and they are all under all data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this one xe_t. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm going to come to my SQL Plus window. I'm going to connect S6DBA. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to I need to query and find out what table spaces I have. So I'm going to query. I'm going to issue this query. Select table space. And from you know what? Let's see how that query up here. Because one of the things that one of the mistakes that I made is that I want to have this limited. Select star from the select star from the table spaces. Read all table space. There you go. So these are different table spaces that I have on my currently on my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create table example underscore table 2 let me see if I have that query right. Create table. Create table space. You know what? Table two. I need to have a column. So actually no, I don't know. Table space example select. And what I did before is that what I did is I am actually using the HR data from the HR schema, and basically what I'm doing is I've in a select from the HR schema, and this is the department table for HR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that command again. Select star from HR. Good. Again, the reason why the way that it works is basically if you are a user and you're using someone else's objects, or you're recording someone else's object, you have to basically prefix that user's username and then the object that you are basically querying. So I'm logging this and I want to get HR data, so I'm prefixing HR and then period, and then I'm querying the object itself, which is the department table. So the table has been created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the select star from example underscore table 2, And there you go. I have basically I have myself a table. Now that resembles the departments table, which is in the HR schema. So what I'm looking now is I'm going to shut down the database. And then while it's shutting down, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to get rid of this DBF file because so basically what I did is the example DBF file is the data file that the example tablespace uses. So this data, which is the data from the example underscore table 2 is actually part of this data file. So what I want to do is now that the database is shut down, I'm going to get rid of this data file, and it's gone. So what I will do next is I will actually I will come to Allman. I should have Allman open. Oh, if I do not. There you go. So what I'm gonna do with Allman is I am going to first of all I'm gonna exit Allman, because the reason why you have to exit Allman if you issue a shutdown, on your Oracle instance is that basically Allman is gonna show an error message if you try to run a query, from a previous session. So I'm going to start a new session with Allman. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to the target, which is my database. So it's not started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a run block. Run. And then I will this is a command to set the data file. Actually, before I do that, hold on with Allman. What I will do is I will end this, exit. I will issue startup, because I have to know the exact file number for that. That's gonna show a fit. I guess you say that. And this is where the startup command comes in. It's going to tell you exactly which data file is cannot be accessed. So and then so while we're waiting for the startup command to process, what I'm going to do is I am actually going to show you guys where I will be placing the example data file into this directory, the xe_2. I'm going to copy that ahead of time. So I just found out that data file 8 is the file that cannot be found, cannot be identified. So what I will do is I will, and also the reason, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the reason why the data file 8 cannot be brought up is basically to go from mounted to open. You rely on the control file, and then that's basically what the control file is. It basically has a location for all your data files. So from one shutdown to from one session to another session, right? The control file basically only keeps track of what was what was within the database when the shutdown occurred. So basically, data file A was in the shutdown was in data file when the shutdown occurred, and that's why when I'm trying to start it up now, the control file is looking for that same exact location for the data file, but it's not finding that. That's why it's giving me the error message. So what I will do is I know it's data file 8, so what I will do is I will come into Amen, and I'm going to connect to my target. And then connect to target. Okay. What I'm gonna issue the one block, and it's gonna be the command to set a new location for your data file is set new name for data file 8 to CSU example .bbf. Okay, I've just said a new name. I'm going to restore data file 8, and I'm going to switch data file 8. So basically the reason why you have a switch command is so again I'm doing this I'm doing this sort of like this is going to go on internally, number one. So I am actually messing with the control file when I'm doing this. I've read this, in one of the blogs that I came across. But basically, you issue the switch data file to be able to perform that switch, internally from. So it's going to be switched from the previous location, which was XE to XE2. So I'm going to switch data file 8, and I'm going to recover the file 8. And I'm going to issue an alter database data file online statement. So basically, typically what happens is that when you have a data file that is not that's giving you trouble, typically what you do is you actually put the data file offline. You offline it, and then you online it once you're done with basically figuring out, or resolving whatever was wrong with that data file. So I guess in shutting down the database, what I did is that I implicitly executed an offline script, and that script is actually like this. So it's alter database data file. I'm working data file 8, and it's gonna say online. So the script that was implicit with the shutdown was offline, and now I'm explicitly stating that I want to have the data file 8 online. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to end it with my bracket, and then I'm actually going to run that command. There you go. So to that database data file 8 online. So I'm done with the recovery. So if you go to your directory, what you see is that you have yourself in your data file, but it's in a different location, and it no longer is in here. So that's the method of placing your data file in a different location as you're restoring it. it might come in handy as you're working, as a database administrator. But that's definitely going to depend on what is what's basically if what's necessary, I guess. So just thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.